Hello everybody, in this one, just for the fun of it, we're going to find the difference quotient for a quadratic with 3 terms. So let me make up an example here. So I'm going to say, for example, that first of all, f of x equals 2x squared minus 3x plus 1. So first we need to compute the pieces. So when I compute the pieces will look like as follows. I'm going to compute f of x plus h. So that means wherever I see x in the original, I replace it with x plus h. So I'll have 2 and then x plus h squared minus 3 and then x plus h and then plus 1 at the end. Now at this point a lot of this is just cleanup work because you have to FOIL, combine like terms and all that. So that means I will have the following next. I'm going to FOIL x plus h, so that's going to give me x squared plus the h squared will be at the end, and the question is, how do you know pretty quickly what to put in the middle? So that is always the x multiplying the h and then you double it. What is the reason for this middle term here? Well, the reason for this middle term is that if you FOIL x plus h, that really means x plus h times x plus h, and the x plus h is there twice. When you combine those two xh's in the middle, you get 2xh. You can check for yourself if you like. Okay, but I'm assuming that because you're at this level that you know how to do that. Let me move on. And then minus 3, so I'm going to distribute that negative 3 to the x and the h individually here. So that's going to give me minus 3x and then minus 3h and then plus 1. So let's continue. Now distribute the 2 all the way across. So 2x squared plus 4xh plus 2h squared minus 3x minus 3h plus 1. The next piece of the difference quotient would be to compute this quantity right here, which is f of x plus h minus f of x. So that means this entire expression from above, and you subtract from it f of x itself. So I'm going to have 2x squared plus 4xh plus 2h squared minus 3x minus 3h plus 1 minus, and then within the parentheses I'm going to put the original function. So that's 2x squared minus 3x plus 1. At this point I'm going to observe the following, that at this right above my head that negative has to be distributed to each term inside the parentheses. Keep that in mind. So for that reason I'm going to write this next. I'm going to have 2x squared plus 4xh plus 2h squared minus 3x minus 3h plus 1 minus 2x squared plus 3x minus 1. And you want to be super careful here because one mistake and things will disintegrate, and as you can see this is a bit of a time-consuming process. So let me just cancel. At this point you cancel off any terms that you can. So for example, this will cancel with this, because as you can see we have 2x squared in this position, positive, and then negative 2x squared. So opposite sign, just cancel those babies off. It looks as though negative 3x and then positive 3x can be cancelled. Next one, the positive 1 and the negative 1 can be cancelled. This reduces simply to 4xh plus 2h squared, and then, let me just zoom in on those, make sure we understand that I'm using this one, I'm using this one, and I'm using this negative 3h in this position. Those are the ones not crossed off with the red marks. To finish up, to find a difference quotient, let me just zoom out a tiny amount because I want to make sure that you can see all of my work from top to bottom. So now I'm going to have the following. F of x plus h minus f of x, and the whole thing divided by h. So I write now 4xh plus 2h squared minus 3h, and I divide that by h. At this point, there's some simplification that has to be done that's additional, so specifically, take a look. In each term, like 4xh, the h is a factor, and 2h squared, there's a factor of h, and there's a factor of h over here, and there's 1 in the bottom. So you've got to factor an h from each term in the top, and then cancel with the 1 in the bottom. So, I'm going to write now the following. H multiplying 4x plus 2h minus 3, and the whole thing hovering above h. Lastly, I cancel this h with this h, so I can put down the final result of my masterpiece as follows, that big equals and then this whole thing becomes 4 x plus 2h minus 3, and that is the difference quotient. For those of you going on to calculus, or maybe if you're interested in that, as a small preview, in calculus what you will do is you will take the limit when h goes to 0 of the difference quotient to find the derivative. So this, you can imagine, is really at this level. This is at the pre-calc level. So this is all the steps from top to bottom. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it's been helpful. Please leave a like and subscribe. It all makes a difference.